Hello, everyone. My name is Julia Marcos, and today we are going to talk about project concept development. First things first, you may ask me, why do I need project concept development? If I have my application form, I can just start filling in the application form for getting a grant, and write my project straight away there. So here is the thing. The clearer you are about your project idea before you start writing, the bigger chance there is that basically you will express this clarity and coherence throughout the whole application. And the chances are higher that evaluator who is reading this application will get the idea what your project is about. Because look, you have in your head the overall picture of what you want to create. But one thing is to understand what you want to create. Another thing is having an opportunity to translate or to communicate those messages that you want to communicate to other people. The more preparation you do, the clearer and more simple your idea will be there on the paper. And believe me, you will feel a whole huge difference when you have clarity, and then you read the question and you have straightforward answer rather than having a vague idea of, for example, we want to raise awareness of LGBTQ communities among young people, or for example, in school environments, yeah? And you have just this idea, but you have no idea how you're going to do it, with whom exactly, who do you exactly want to target? Are these educators or other young people, peers, classmates? Yeah, and then out of it, you want to try to create a project, and with every question in the application form, you will struggle more and more. And when I hear a question, do these questions actually in the application form repeat? Do I need to write again the same things? No, yeah, the questions, they target different aspects, but for those people who don't have a clear picture in their head, it seems to be repetitive, and it seems that they have already written it all. So please invest your time into writing down your ideas, and not just writing down your ideas as bullet points or notes, but working on developing the exact concept with planning, with knowing your outcomes, results, impact, target groups, and so on and so forth. And in this video, I'm going to help you do this. Yeah, I'm going to introduce you the tool that can apply when you write a project, and actually we are using it even when planning strategic development of organizations. But every time I adapt it to different topic. And today I will be using the circle of creativity, and that's the name of the tool for project writing. First thing you need to be clear about is needs analysis. What it means is that you need to really know that your project solves some problem. If you do a project out of personal interest, for example, towards coaching or towards climate change, then this is not enough. Yeah, you really need to see for whom this project is, so who is your target group, and what are their needs and desires. Yeah, without it, it will be doing for the sake of doing. And believe me, the times of just doing things is in the past. Yeah, European Commission, evaluators, national agencies, they become more and more demanding, and they really want to see impact you create with your project. So first thing you need to take care about is needs analysis. Think, what is the topic of your project? Think about the target group that you are doing your project for, and talk to your target group. Go interview, make questionnaires, ask questions, write posts, ask them to comment or answer your questions in comments. Yeah, sit down, gather them informally. Talk to your target group. Talk to those, for example, youth workers or educators or young people or parents or youth from rural communities. Yes, sit down and talk to them. Talk to them and listen to them. When you listen, when you ask them questions, when you have this genuine curiosity and you want to know their needs and wants and desires and dreams, this is a way to get relevant information, and this is a way to build your project based on the real need. So the first step is needs analysis. The second step is setting a goal for your project. When I talk about the goal, and actually in the application form, they don't ask you about the goal, they ask you about objectives. But I want to zoom out a bit. There will be more concrete objectives later on, but first you need to understand what is a big goal of your project. Could be this goal comes out of your strategic planning of the organization or your strategy for the next 2, 3, 5 years, but more or less think in terms, for example, raising the quality of youth work in Europe through introducing gamification into the classroom or into non-formal education, or gamification in the topics of inclusion during training courses, or coaching as a tool in volunteering projects. Yeah, so what is something big that you want? And when I talk about the goal, most probably you will see it as something huge, and not that you necessarily fulfill with your project, yeah, but something that you will contribute to. Because one single project that lasts for 2 years and, for example, involves 2, 3, 4 organizations, of course, it cannot make a revolution in youth work in Europe, but it can contribute to innovation and raising the quality of youth work. So think about the goal. And when you are clear about the goal, let's go to objectives. Objectives, these are those 3, 4, 5 bullet points that you put in the application, and that basically out of which you base all your applications. You plan your activities, you plan your results, you plan your impact. So when talking about objectives, be more precise. So for example, how many organizations you are going to reach? We are going to reach 50 organizations all over Europe and beyond. So basically coming from program countries and partner countries, yes, that are active in the field of youth work. Be precise in terms of what you are going to create as a result. Yeah, so what you can say is that one of our objectives is to create an easy-to-use, accessible platform for project management of KA1 projects. Yeah, by the way, I give you the examples of real objectives that I was using in my projects. So think about those 3 to 5 objectives that you're going to tackle in your application and by your project, because later on, when you fill in every activity, you will be asked how this activity actually contributes to objectives. Moreover, your results will be the reflection of your objectives. So think here carefully, put them down, use concrete numbers. Yeah, don't use here generalized words. Make it concrete. The more concrete and clear it is for you, the easier to put your message out there, and the easier it will be perceived by other people. Once you're clear about your objectives, we should go to the next stage. And the next stage is planning. And in this stage, think about your project and what you need to prepare in advance, what you need to take care in advance before you start implementation. Mostly I'm talking here about partnership. Who is going to be your partner? What strengths they're going to bring to the project? Yeah, why this project is international, they cannot be done on the local level. Think about the arrangements with partners. How are you going to cooperate with partners, to communicate with partners? Who is going to be in charge of what activities in your project? Who is, for example, taking care of communication or monitoring, or who is taking care of producing the project result if you're creating a handbook or e-guide? Yeah, who is ultimately responsible that this guide is done in time and all partners are involved? Think about these things, as well as how the project will be going. So what would be the project flow? How long it will last? What should be happening in every month? Yeah, and actually how you will put certain points when you're going to track whether you're making progress or not. This is all a planning stage, and my invitation is to think about these aspects. So once again, yes, several aspects to take here into account. Partnership, yeah, what are agreements between partners and who are your partners? How are you going to run this project? How are you going to manage this project? Yeah, and how you're going to monitor this project. Moreover, these aspects will be later on discussed in the application form. You will be asked about it, so for sure you can use your ideas from here later on. When it's done, the next part is implementation. Implementation, I'm not talking about actually already going for a kickoff meeting or implementing a training course. Yeah, I advise you here to ask 5 questions for yourself. And these are 5 questions, or the technique called 5 why. It's where, what, who, how, and why. Yes, so this is about making clear of where your activities will be happening, how it's going to happen. For example, if you make a multiplier event, if you spread the project results, what would be the shape of these project results, where they're going to happen, who is going to be involved. Think about these aspects. Here, you might not be so precise, because later on you will be asked about each activity, who is in charge and where it's going to happen and for whom it is. But that's my suggestion, to think in big lines for your project. As a project, as a whole project idea, how it's going to happen, for whom it's going to happen, what exactly is going to happen. And and the next one is result. So what is the result that you want to get? What's the outcomes that you want to get? So what is a tangible result? What is intangible result? And when I talk about tangible result, is how many people reached, how many views are there on Facebook, how many, for example, ebooks are spread out, how many users are there on your platform. And intangible results are increasing competencies or reinforcing synergies between organizations. But even here, you'll need later on to understand how you're going to measure them and track them. Once you're clear about the result, what's important to check is a result and your objectives, that they're complementing each other, that the objectives that you put for yourself, they lead to those results that you want to get, that they are interconnected, that when you put them here together, it doesn't seem that these are 2 completely different projects. And then, when it's done, I think you are pretty much ready to start working on your application form, because this exercise done with team and spend a bit of time on it will create you that picture that you will need to have in your mind when working on your application. In the next videos, we are going to talk about these aspects in a bigger detail, but I think it's a good start. And if you do it now, if you create the circle of creativity now, later on with the next videos, you can make corrections, you can build up, you can change certain things, but it's much easier to change things once you have a draft than start creating every time from scratch. So that's my invitation. Take a moment, sit down, brainstorm, do this exercise, and let's go and rock it. See you in the next videos.